What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. Duga, coming at y'all with another video, man. Man, and today, man, I'm going to talk about tonight's college football playoff semifinal game in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. You had number 2 Clemson beating number 3 Notre Dame 30-3. Let that sink in. Clemson Tigers beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 30-3, yo. The game started off, man. Clemson kicked the field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Then Notre Dame came back down, also kicked the field goal to tie the game up at 3. Then Trevor Lawerence, a.k.a. Sunshine from Remember the Titans, hit Justin Ross on a long touchdown pass. The extra point was blocked. Clemson had a 9-3 lead. Then later on, Trevor Lawerence, a.k.a. Sunshine, hits Justin Ross on another long touchdown pass. This time they got the extra point to take a 16-3 lead. And right before the end of the half, man, Trevor Lawerence, a.k.a. Sunshine, hits T. Higgins on a beautiful one-handed touchdown catch to give Clemson a 23-3 lead at halftime. Second half, man, Clemson just coasted, dominated Notre Dame's offensive team. And the big homer from right around the way in Jennings, Louisiana, Travis Etienne broke a long touchdown run, and that was the final score of the game. And there you have it. The Clemson Tigers beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 30-3. First, to start off with Clemson, man. Clemson is a pretty impressive-looking team, man. Offensively, man, like I said, Trevor Lawerence, a.k.a. Sunshine, he a solid quarterback. Early on, he looked a little rattled. When Notre Dame was sending the blitzes at him, he looked a little antsy, like he was just running to get out of trouble, and he wasn't quite sure of what he wanted to do with the football. But once he settled down, man, he found his playmakers. He hit Justin Ross, man. He hit T. Higgins. Hunter Renfrow, like, my goodness, man. How many years of eligibility does he have? It seems like he been playing for the last 8 years at Clemson, man. Like, is he finally a senior? Because it seems like he's been at Clemson for a pretty long time, man. Like, I'm watching the game and I see him, I'm like, dang, he's still there? Like, he's still over there. Like, bro, that's crazy, man. But shout out to him, man. He made the most of his 4 years, man. But, and offensively, Notre Dame, they stifled the run. You could tell that Brian Kelly and their coaching staff, really wanted to key in on shutting down the ACC Offensive Player of the Year and Travis Etienne. So they pretty much dared Trevor Lawerence to beat him, and he did. To say he's a freshman, he showed why he was the number 2 overall recruit in the country. Going out there with good arm strength, good accuracy, good tall presence in the pocket. Even with a little bit of mobility in there, thrown in there here and there, man. He did his thing. And, offensively, it wasn't great early on, but like I said, once they got rolling, they got rolling. And in the second half, they kind of pretty much just coasted through, And defensively, man, wow, like defensively, they really got after it. They was missing the big homie Dexter Lawrence today, but those other guys stepped up, man, led by Christian Wilkins, man. That's a very impressive defense that they have over there, man. You got a linebacker who's running number 11, who's running a 4-3, who used to be a safety. You got good, solid corners. You got the deepest defensive line in all of college football. I mean, they got second-string guys out there putting constant pressure on the quarterback. Hitting the running back at the line of scrimmage. Just an overall dominating performance by the Clemson Tigers today, man. That was just really, really impressive. Shout out to them. And I mean, basically, they showed why Dabo Swinney has got this program rolling, man. When you look at players in the NFL today, you got like the Deshaun Watsons, the DeAndre Hopkins, the Sammy Watkins, you had C.J. Spiller, what's the old guy's name, man? Mike Williams, You got all these players, man, that's doing their thing. And Dabo Swinney really has this program rolling. They are like a SEC team playing in the ACC, especially with the big step back that Florida State has taken, by losing Jimbo Fisher and Willie Taggart ain't really got things rolling yet. With Miami, with Mark Richt last year having a great season, but then taking a huge step back this year. Clemson is really dominating that ACC, and they're really, especially with Trevor Lawerence just being a freshman, knowing he has at least 2 more years of eligibility left, this team is really in position to be in the playoff every year because there's no one in that ACC conference that is going to challenge them right now. I know they had a close game with Syracuse, but as far as their recruiting, like in their history, their recent history, nobody's like in that conference is really messing with them, man. It's unfortunate for everybody in the ACC, man. Y'all could cancel Christmas. Clemson has this thing rolling. And they're going to be in these, this is their 4th year in a row being in the college football playoff. And it looked like they ain't going nowhere anytime soon. Shout out to Clemson on getting back to the national championship game for the 3rd time in 4 years, which leads to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, granted, yeah, the last year and a few years ago, I think it was 2014 or something like that, they beat LSU in a bowl game twice. Granted, shout out to them for that. But I knew once the playoff rank, like once the field was set, I knew I always felt like Georgia or Ohio State would have been more exciting to watch in these playoffs because they're teams with great speed, and real good 4- and 5-star players. But, no knock on Notre Dame as far as, they're not in a conference and they won all their games. They're undefeated. So, you got to put them in there. Even though I look at they struggled with teams, like Vanderbilt, I remember it came down to the wire. I remember watching that game against USC early on, and this was not a very good USC team. And watching that game, and I'm like, man, USC looked like they got more athletes than Notre Dame out there. The problem with Notre Dame, man, is every time they're going to get in these playoffs or a national championship game and they go up against an SEC type team like an Alabama or something like that, or the team like Clemson or Ohio State or any of these teams, they're going to get their butts kicked, yo. Because this team doesn't have any speed. I don't see any speed on this Notre Dame football team, man. I see a bunch of slow people out there that's just doing enough to beat the teams that they played this year. You know what? Their best win of the year was beating Michigan week 1. We seen what Michigan looked like against Florida today, so much for that. Yeah, that win looks so pretty doggone impressive right now. Actually, it doesn't. Yeah, man, they just don't have the speed, man. They don't have the horses. It looked like Clemson was, especially playing on that surface, in a dome-type stadium where the fast players are even faster. Notre Dame showed absolutely no speed today. I understand one of their best defensive backs was out for most of the first half, and that's when Clemson started moving the ball and this and that. But what about on offense? Whereas you got this big receiver, number 81, he's just a big guy. Like, where's the separation? Where's the speed? Where's the deep threats? I don't see any of that in Notre Dame, man. And as long as we keep putting them in these playoffs, I know it was their first time getting hit in a game like this since the BCS national championship game against Alabama in 2012, which they got ramrodded. Every time we put them in these type of games, this is the result you're going to see, man. When they in these big championship, college football playoff type games, these are the results you're going to get. They're too slow. They don't have any speed, man. Like the last few years, I remember Will Fuller, was the closest thing to real speed that they had in a while. Notre Dame needs to find a way, man. I understand it's a little hard over there because I know the academic requirements are much higher than most universities, but Notre Dame needs to find a way to get players who can run. Until you do that, you're gonna lose 35-0 and 30-3 in championship type of games, man. Point blank, period. You know. But man, with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Go and give me a subscribe, man. I'm gonna have NCAA content, man, throughout the season. Y'all have a blessed one. Go Tigers.